and procedures that will follow for tonight's meeting.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. The following is the procedure that will be followed tonight. The matters will be called in the order they appear on the calendar, with adjourned matters being called at the end of the regularly scheduled matters. Matters cannot be heard prior to their published scheduled time. When your matter is called, please submit the affidavit of posting to the secretary and proceed to the podium and give your name and address. The chairperson will then swear you in and read into the record information we have from your application, comments from various town departments, and any correspondence received on your application. The chairperson will then ask you to make whatever presentation you wish to make to the board. After you have made your presentation, the board will ask whatever questions the board deems appropriate, and then we will ask for comments from the public. If you wish to speak for or against an application, we ask that you wait until you're acknowledged, come forward, give us your name and address, tell us where your property is in relation to the property that's in question tonight, and then please direct your comments to the board, not the applicant or the applicant's representative. We have to keep a record, and we cannot do that if there are people talking over each other or cross conversations. If someone has spoken for or against an application, and they have said exactly the same thing that you wish to say, it will have the same force and effect in the record if you give your name and address, are sworn in, and say that you join in those comments. If you have anything additional to say, please don't hesitate to do so, but keep in mind that you will be given only one opportunity to speak. After the public has spoken, the board may ask the applicant to come back to answer any questions that may have come up as a result of the public comments, or for the applicant to summarize. When the applicant comes back to answer any additional questions, if that happens, that does not start a second round of public comments. Once the matter has been heard, various things may occur. The board may decide the application immediately. It may reserve decision. If the board reserves decision, that does not mean the matter is approved or denied. It just means that the board needs more time to decide, may want to go out and look at the site again, or might want to review the documents and testimony further before making a decision. In either event, the applicant will receive the board's decision in writing shortly after the board makes its decision. If the application is approved, that does not mean that you can then go ahead and start construction, or whatever it is that you requested from the board. You will have to wait for the building permit to be obtained from the building department before your go-ahead. On some occasions, the matter may be continued for another night. If it is continued, in most cases it will be for the submission of documents, a new survey, new plans, or something of that nature. If that's the case, no one needs to come back on the new date. The documents will be submitted and no further testimony will be taken. On rare occasions, a matter may be continued for future testimony. If that's the case, then people would have to come back to testify. If matters are adjourned at an open meeting on the scheduled date of hearing, no further notice need be given unless specifically required by the board on the date the adjournment is granted. 3 rules that may affect your ability to proceed tonight. 1. If the sign was not posted for 10 days, we cannot hold the hearing tonight. 2. If you commence this proceeding while you own the property, but no longer own the property, and you are here now to continue with the application, you will need either the written consent of the new owner or the new owner to be present for the hearing. This situation could come about if you sold your house or building, money was held in escrow at closing for a certificate of occupancy or permit, and you're here tonight to clear that up. Lastly, if your application is a commercial application, and it's other than a renewal, and there is more than one tenant in the building, then you need your landlord to be here. Is there any applicant that has any difficulty with those situations and would need an adjournment tonight?
Is there anyone that would need an adjournment? Please rise and join the board in Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First application is application 25075 of Richard Bourne, property located in Deer Park.
Good afternoon.
Name and address for the record, please.
Richard Ramos Ball.
Okay, and
Address
address?
69 West 5th Street, Deer Park.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, sir.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated June 4th, 2025, environmental control memo dated June 11th, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Termaine Eason, dated December 14th, 2018, tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, there's 18 photographs in the site plan by Jeannie Del Beloved, dated April 2nd, 2025.
okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
At this moment, the current deck that I have around the back, I guess was built from the first owner of the property. However, I've moved into the property 2014. Over the years, I've little problem enjoying my deck because the roof is like the size of the deck is like covered by a quarter of the roof, which is the suffix. So most of the time, if I have an umbrella, it's most of the time the wind blow it over because there's not enough space for the umbrella to rest because the suffix is rest right down over my deck, sorry. And over the years, I've tried to replace pieces that's been falling apart, and I've just reached a point where I just don't want to waste any more money because it started falling apart. I have 2 kids where there are times it started falling down, so over the years, I've saved money and decided I should just replace it and build a new one. As to why I want to expand it a little bit more, just so I can able to put an umbrella, especially during the summertime when I have the kids doing barbecue outside, just to enjoy being outside with the kids. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Montiglio.
Good evening, how are you?
Yes, sir.
You said it's being replaced because it's wear and tear, basically, you're just trying to make it
Hopefully.
nicer.
Yes, sir.
What is the height of the proposed deck?
The height of the proposed deck, I think is 30 inches height.
Will it be covered entirely by an awning?
No, sir.
Okay.
The deck is only quarter of it is covered by the roof because of my suffix expands out on the deck, but it's not going to be covered by any awning.
I have no further questions, Chairman.
Any other questions from the board?
Did you agree to not further enclose the deck any more than it's going to be?
No, sir. Sorry, repeat the question. Sorry. I'm sorry.
He got
I
you.
think about it.
Did you agree to not further enclose the deck?
Yes, sir, I agree.
You said a quarter of it is covered, correct?
Yes, by the suffix. By the suffix,
You
sorry.
agreed to not further enclose it?
Sure, I agree.
Sides, any more on the top?
I agree, yes, sir.
Are you having like this awning, like here, you can see it up there?
Yes, right.
That's gonna go over?
Repeat that, ma'am?
Is it gonna be like an awning over the?
No, I'm just explaining that just so I can enjoy more. If there's any covering, it'll be just like an umbrella where I just buy, or I pull back down, put in my deck, in my shed, and that's it. Not something permanently built. No.
Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Yeah, good.
All right, Chairman, I'd like to approve application number 25-075 with the condition of the rear deck not to be enclosed at all.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next application is application 25073 of Matthew and Jennifer Leo, property located in West Babylon. Name and address for the record, please.
Matthew Leo, 213 Sandpiper Lane in West Babylon.
I'm an agent for Matthew and Jennifer. We're seeking a variance
Wait,
for
wait,
lot
I
coverage.
need your name and address.
Oh, I'm sorry, Robert Schmidt, 107 Maple Road, Rocky Point, New York.
Do you both affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated June 4th, 2025, Environmental Control memo dated June 11th, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Tax map acting as an area map. A survey by Jason Lettingham dated November 13th, 2024. And,
Chairman, there's 4 photographs.
okay. What would you like to tell us about the application?
Sure. We're seeking the variance for lot coverage in order to install an in-ground pool with surrounding paver patio. In light of the letter we received from the planning department, I will keep it brief. We feel that 20% maximum coverage on a 10,000 square foot lot would be difficult to achieve in any residence. The house itself takes up almost this amount before any of the structures are added. The pool is proposed to be a modest size of 16 by 34. This will be an in-ground pool, so there will be really no view from the surrounding neighbors, and this will not impact the character of the neighborhood whatsoever. We understand that the setback for the patios is important due to drainage requirements, and we are conforming to these setbacks. Lastly noted in the letter, there is a certainty and a precedent in the neighborhood as many families have added swimming pools and patios to their yard. We will be grateful to the board if we would consider approving this application, and we'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
How are you?
Hi.
Good. So you agree to the condition that you'll maintain 2 feet off the property lines, rear and side?
Yes,
side
sir.
yards? I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 25-073 with the condition that the patio maintain conforming 2-foot setback from rear and side property lines.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next application is application 25079 of Fanny Diaz, property located in North Babylon. Name and address for the record.
Kelly Bennett, 1257 Udall Road, Bayshore, New York, 11706.
And you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated June 4th, 2025. Environmental Control memo dated June 11th, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by Elizabeth McQuilkin dated July 18th, 2023. Tax map acting as an area map.
I didn't hear you. There's going to be 9 photographs and a site plan by 10 Design Group dated June 21st, 2023.
Would you like to tell us about the application?
Good evening. I'm here tonight on behalf of Mr. Jose Martinez, who owns the property, and as well as the architect's office. I was here in front of this board April of '24, seeking a request to maintain the existing one-story rear addition and rear deck. We were approved with that, and I did agree to the conditions of removing or relocating to a conforming location these 2 very rundown sheds, one of which is in our secondary front yard. And the homeowner never followed through with that. I guess his intention was to do it before his final survey. However, they, in the nick of time, because I drove by earlier, they did just demo both of those sheds. So I did email photos over to zoning. So as of right now, they are removed, and they will show removed on a final survey. They received several stop work orders here. We showed a proposed portico on one set of plans to the building department. I never submitted anything separately. There was some miscommunication between contractor and architect on this. They chose not to do the portico when we first came for the rear yard setback. It is an absolutely beautiful addition to the home. So I'm hoping the board is in favor of the portico. Our sheds are removed, and it would be a front yard variance request of, I believe, 27.6. And as you could see, this is the full completed set of plans that was submitted to the building department. So I'm hoping it covers all scopes of work inside and out.
Okay, turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
Okay, I did drive by as well, and the sheds were gone. thankfully.
Oh, you did?
Yes,
Oh, they just sent them 3 minutes ago.
literally, before I got here.
Okay.
So that was good. So the stop work order, you guys received 2 at this point.
Yeah, so I read the dates on the first stop work order was, I believe, from '23, which was prior to me even coming before the board. My assumption is my client picked this up. It probably had either the deck or he did something without a permit at that time that we were maintaining with interior alterations. I'm only aware of the current stop work order that was issued
February.
for the portico.
Okay. Also, when I drove by today, there were a few guys in the yard. I'm not sure if they were just grabbing the shed, if you said it was removed today,
I would,
or...
I would assume
Yeah?
so,
Okay.
just because it looks like there were like 3, 4 guys, they took both
Yeah.
down at the same time.
Okay.
And I believe everything is now off the site, so.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I don't really have any further questions. The property does need a lot of work, so,
Oh, yeah, well, it's gonna look beautiful just like
I
that.
can't wait.
It's a spec house, so this is something that, but haste makes waste, they didn't wanna put it on the plan the first time, so we're here now.
all right, so then, you agree that the front portico not be enclosed?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. You'll get the decision in the mail.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Next application is application 25074 of Tracy McLone, property located in Lindenhurst. Name and address for the record, please.
Tracy McLovin, 833 North Delaware Avenue, Lindenhurst, New York.
Okay, and you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, sir.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated June 4th, 2025, a environmental control memo dated June 11th, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey dated July 8th, 2024, tax map acting as an area map, and,
And there's 11 photographs.
okay. What would you like to tell us about the application?
Yes. 2.5 years ago, I had a big garage in my backyard. I had a fire, which subsequently melted the back of my house. So I was intending to go for a dormer to begin with, and then I got an architect, and I proceeded to have the drawings put up and to replace the garage that was already there, which was approved. And I put the same exact plan for the garage. I went to the same people to get it redone, so I wanted to put that back and then put a dormer on because my handicapped brother lives with me and it's a little tight. And my son would like to move out from Brooklyn with his children so they can have a yard. And I live across the street from Long Island Paneling, so I needed extra space for my driveway because every morning you have tractor trailers staging in front of my house, which is right by Taco Bell, literally one house in from Taco Bell. And my vehicles have been hit more than one time. So I needed to try and get my things off the driveway. And I needed a garage that was big enough because I have a couple of motorcycles, snowmobiles, and scooters, etc., and camping gear, etc. So that's why the garage is larger.
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Ms. Krokidas.
Hey,
So what is the proposed layout of the dwelling? Putting the planned additions, how many bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchens?
2 kitchens. So you would come in the back, I guess the side or back. And it would be 6 bedrooms total.
6 bedrooms, and how many bathrooms?
What, baby? Yeah, and I had a plan in for an accessory apartment to begin with. And that was being approved. I had people come in and everything. And then with the fire happening, they said that I should wait. And since I was going to do the dormer, that was all tied into one. So that's why it took a little bit longer.
All right, so 2 kitchens, 6 bedrooms, how many bathrooms?
4, I think 4. 3.5.
Okay, in 2022, you filed for the accessory apartment
Mhm.
permit, but it was never finalized?
They had come in and everything, and then I had the fire, so we
When
were,
was the fire?
I'm sorry?
When was the fire?
2022, I think, 23? About 2.5 years ago. And between the architect and submitting the plans back and forth, it's taken this long to get to this point.
All right, but your intent is still to get the accessory apartment?
Oh, yes, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many people are living in the home now?
Me, my brother, my cousin, our husband, and the 2 kids.
Okay, and how many vehicles?
Well, I don't have to keep all my vehicles there because I've been storing my motorcycles and stuff and paid to have them stored elsewhere because I don't have a garage. So,
By any chance, did you have a chance to read the planning memo for the comments regarding the garage?
why I thought it asked why I needed such a big garage
Yeah.
because I have a couple of motorcycles, I have a snowmobile, I have 2 scooters, I have camping gear.
And you're looking to keep those inside?
I would like to, yes, because I pay to have them stored, and I can't really afford to continue to do that. I had, the first garage was, I have a CO for it, the same exact garage, with the same specs, everything. It just burned, so now I had to come back and redo it, which I don't understand why, but I'm doing it. But it was approved already, it had been there, standing, it just burned.
Is there any way that driveway can be reduced at all?
Yeah, I can take back a little bit, and the front with it, some rocks.
Okay, and if this application were to be approved, would you agree to the following conditions that were listed on the planning memo?
Yeah, whatever you need.
The front porch not to be enclosed, accessory apartment permit must be maintained. Should there be 2 kitchens in the dwelling, unfinished storage area to remain unfinished as per applicant's plans, no habitable space permitted in the detached garage, and no commercial work permitted in the detached garage.
Absolutely.
Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board?
I have one, Mr. Chairman. All the vehicles that you have in the garage, they're all registered and
Absolutely. I have them
registered
with
to
me.
you?
Yes, I have that with me, just in case you needed it.
That's all my concern was.
Yeah, I have them with me if you need them.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
The roof over the porch, can that be, can you have continue the roof over the porch, or they mean, can I ask a question?
This is my brother.
Right, name and address.
Scott McClone, 833 North Delaware Avenue. MCG, same as hers, MCGLONE. The porch, when you're talking about in the front.
You
when
firm
you
to
say-
tell the truth?
Yes, yes. When you talk about enclosing the porch in the front, do you mean the roof? Because it's going to be a covered, just, it's not going to be
That's on
closed?
the plans.
Right.
No, just talking about that it wouldn't be enclosed.
Oh, okay,
Cover
okay.
over, it's a
Right,
portico.
right. No,
It's
no,
basically a portico, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so you wouldn't put walls around it. in
No,
other
it's just
words.
open.
Just a quick question. Where's the accessory apartment going to be located?
The garage downstairs.
Like, what would it be,
See
the
the
existing
staircases?
garage? Like toward the back?
See the staircase there? Yeah, right there. And then going up, and the whole second floor will be the.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is the proposed addition, so
Yeah.
that's where you're putting the accessory?
Yeah,
Where was it to be located when you applied in 2022?
it's the same, it's just added up.
Yeah, we're pretty much
It's the
going.
same apartment, just went up.
Okay, so just back to the driveway for a minute. I mean, usually, we won't approve something more than 50%. You know, right now, you're at 75% of front yard coverage. So you're gonna have to come back to us with something, a
Well, the
plan
front of the
showing
garage-
what you can cut it back.
The front of that extension on the side, see where your arrow is now? That's coming out to the end of the patio there. It's gonna be in line with the patio. So would that be considered pulling the driveway back?
That's not gonna get you to 50%, probably. You're gonna have to give us a plan. I mean, we can't just speculate what's gonna get you.
I
there,
had,
but-
I had someone come and approve that. I have his name, Nunzio
Yeah, that was already
Russo.
approved.
He came by and said, okay, this is okay. So I didn't know I had done anything wrong.
That the driveway was okay?
Yeah.
We came a couple times
And
here.
somebody from the town?
Yeah.
2 times, 2 different guys.
Nunzio Russo, I think his name is. I have it in my phone.
What year?
Just this past,
Year,
last summer.
Year and a half?
Last summer.
Was there another application in for something?
I was a complaint, so it was the follow-up on the complaint, which I'm sure he's here to complain behind me.
All right, well, we'll have to check into that then, and we'll get back to you on that, because
Yeah, so I assumed that I was,
that's not what the survey is showing, basically. The survey's showing 75% lot coverage in the front yard.
well, there's area that can be grass that's not now. So that's easy.
You can propose that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? Come on up. Name and address for the
Good
record,
afternoon, guys.
please.
John Vita, 834 North Erie Avenue.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
What would you like to tell us?
I'm the residency right behind the applicant. Approximately 5 years ago, a structure was put up, whether it's deemed a garage or not. It was so incredibly large, I don't know how the town could have approved it, but it was up. A crane came over the house to move this structure because it was too close to my property line. In 2022, that structure caught fire, causing $50,000 damage to my house behind it. As I talked to the fire marshals investigating it, I was told there was a sewer line run to it, there was electrical panel on it, air conditioning units. I've never made a complaint in my life. I've lived in this town 53 years. I've lived in my residence 52 years. I just don't believe that a detached garage meets the neighborhood. There is no way to get a car back there. If it was a shed, I would have no problem with it. But the detached garage, to me, just looks like it's going to cause future problems with me, and I have to look out for my own safety at this point. As far as the dormer, I would never interfere with any of my neighbors trying to better their house or make more living property, as long as it stays a two-family residency. As far as I know now, there are 2 separate families living in there. So if there is 2 kitchens already, I would hope the town would investigate and just make sure that there's only 2 kitchens after the renovation.
She is applying for an accessory apartment permit, which gives them the right to have the 2 kitchens.
Correct.
It's still in the process.
Are you saying there's gonna be more than 2 kitchens?
I'm just saying, I think in my mind, there might be. So I just wanted to say, if the plans go through, I'm all for the house getting built up and finished. I suffered from the fire too, but I just want to make sure it stays within the coding laws of rentals and tenants and people living there, and that's my main concern.
The garage was in the same
I
location?
did give pictures to the board if they want to look at it.
Okay.
With the size of the structure, whatever it was deemed, but, and the obtrusiveness to my backyard that it caused.
Okay. Anything
Thank you.
else?
That's all. Thank you so much.
Okay. Sir? Name and address for the record, please.
Donald Jurgens, 827 North Delaware Avenue, Lindenhurst.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
Okay. What would you like to tell us?
Okay, basically what John had said, but I live on the, next to the property. There's, you can't get a car in the backyard, where she proposed is to put a garage, detached garage. Now, there was a garage that she converted into a illegal apartment at the time. Now, the distance between my property line and her house is approximately 9 feet, 8.5, 9 feet. Now, I don't know, how are you going to get a driveway in there to get back to the detached garage that's going to be in the backyard?
It's not a detached, it's attached.
No, they're proposing a detached.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's detached. I'm looking at the survey.
Yeah, if you look at the site plan on the screen, they're proposing a detached garage in the back.
Oh. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. You know, I would have no qualms if she had 4 10-foot square sheds out there for her motorcycles and whatnot in the backyard. But to have a detached garage and no way to get to it?
Okay. Thank you for taking under consideration. Anything else? I'm sorry.
No, it's just the current, we're just concerned about the apartment in the basement that she's living in now. Is that going to be removed, or is that going to be or is that going to be part of the auxiliary apartment?
No, they had it upstairs, right? Isn't the upstairs is the accessory apartment?
Because she's living downstairs.
We'll find out. All right. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Come back up. Yeah, we're going to. So the accessory apartment is going to be on the upper level?
Yeah, I don't have a basement.
You don't
So-
have a basement?
No, I don't have a basement at all, so there's no basement apartment. That gentleman has turned me in for like
No,
15
you gotta
years.
address us. So the question, so you have no basement?
I don't have a basement, it's a
split.
splanch.
Half up, half down.
Oh, it's just plans.
And
Okay, I got you. All right.
the town, because I've been turned in for about 15 years for everything I do and breathe, you can see the stack of paperwork. The town has been through my home multiple times. They've been through that garage that burned. That is the exact same garage. It was approved. I have the CO for it.
And you don't need a driveway.
I don't need a driveway. First, I have a Mini Cooper. If I wanted to get it back there, I can. I wasn't proposing a driveway, but I have a path, and motorcycles fit just fine. And I was just proposing to put back what I had a CO for before. And I was just gonna have the same apartment that the town has come and looked at. I just wanted to go up, and that was it.
What were you using the garage for before?
That was gonna be the apartment, the accessory apartment.
No, the garage.
The garage?
Oh, the garage. I literally was I just got it, and there was no sewer to it. I don't know where that came from. Or any of that, so I don't know what that
So it
is.
was just constructed and then a fire took place?
Yeah, I had I went through a divorce. I had a 4,000 square foot house.
Okay.
I had to put shelves and all kinds of stuff in there to try and
Consolidate.
put all my belongings in there, because I had, at one point, redid the whole rest of the house, and the whole front of the house was redone, and
What about that?
so I was using it for storage.
You didn't have store, so
But you also have
what was the
building
need for
materials.
the AC unit?
The AC unit, yes, there was one because, during the summer, so that she was.
It's hot, it was hot. It was doing it in the summertime.
At the time, my sister was around, she's no longer with us. She planned on spending more time with her. So she liked being outside, so that's why there was French doors put on the thing. So that if she went outside, she could have someplace that was shaded, maybe cooled or whatever. Because the place was so tiny inside.
My apartment,
Yeah.
whatever area that I was in, it was hot. So,
So If you're building a new garage in behind there, how is it going to be used as a garage?
The motorcycles and
Storage.
snowmobiles and all could go
Same
back
thing.
there. The storing for she has a camper right now in the driveway. She does a lot of camping with her son. So the camping gear and all
Gear
that.
and
Since he lives
stuff.
in Brooklyn, there's no place to store things. He plans
Yeah.
on coming out here as well. So
How big is that garage?
18 by 18.
That's it. And like I said, I had a CO for it before. It's the exact same structure that this
Same shape
town
and
gave me a CO for. I made sure of it, that it was the same footprint.
And the area, yeah,
It's just a square.
so there's an area, I guess this is what would be considered the basement. It's down a couple of steps, it looks like.
It's a splanch, a
So
split ranch.
what is going to be there? It just says finished area. What's
Right,
going to
we're
be
opening
there?
up the middle there. See the two rooms are separated? That's going to be opened up to 5 feet. Okay, so that it's like,
It's the one, like a
it's not enclosed.
family room.
So that other room isn't isolated. So it's going to be like a finished area for the kids and stuff. And they have access to the backyard.
Right.
And the other area, she's considering maybe putting a little office area and stuff like that, paperwork and everything.
So it's going to be two separate rooms?
No, just
it's gonna be
a
open.
big,
It's gonna be open, just separate.
like a den, like a big den,
Yeah,
I guess.
it's gonna be it's separated.
Playroom,
with two
den.
stone walls, so that it just shows a little difference in the area. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be closed though.
So that's all part of the main house?
It's all the extension.
That's
That's part of the main house, and the accessory apartment is going to be on the upper level.
Right.
Right.
And how is that going to be accessed?
On the side there, that side there, coming in, the stairs will be going up,
Right there.
around, right.
So you guys know this dark area, this is the addition.
Okay.
We're basically, we're not extending, we're just going up.
Well,
And-
we're going out the back on the front.
And all of the houses in my area,
Have been bumped out.
all have been bumped
Have
out.
gone up even higher.
Excuse me, don't talk about it. Including the gentleman both of the gentlemen that stood up, their houses have been extended, and
Yeah, they've both been extended.
I have pictures of those that I could provide as well.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Do you have correspondence number 3? You have a letter from Donald Jergens as well?
Okay, we'll include that in the record. You were here, they were here. Okay, we'll include that as part of the record. We're going to close the hearing, and we're going to reserve decision. You'll get the decision in the mail. Thanks for coming down. Thanks for coming down. We'll take it all into consideration. Thank you. Okay, next application is application 25082 of Michael Regano and Anna Regano, property located in West Babylon. Pictures. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, good afternoon, I should say. My name is William McGeever. I'm the agent for the owner. Address of 1 Gildare Drive in East Northport, New York, 11731.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, understood. For the record, we have a planning division memo dated June 4th, 2025, environmental control memo dated June 11th, 2025. An expansion of the existing basement is proposed for this project. No test bore or groundwater data was provided on the plans, and the Department of Environmental Control is looking for that information.
As far as groundwater?
Yeah.
There is an existing basement on this property which has had no groundwater issue, and the area in which we're doing the addition on it does not currently have access. So there should be no issue.
To do a test bore?
I'm sorry, one more time, please?
To do a test bore? They
We
don't
did
have
not do a
access?
test bore on this property.
Okay. Okay. Then we want to see a test bore before expansion.
Okay.
All right. Environment, oh, never mind, we did. A survey dated 2/20/25, tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, there's 8 photographs on the site plan by William McGeever dated May 15, 2025.
okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
So this property is a single-family house of a couple with three young children. Unfortunately, during the month of November, slightly before Thanksgiving, they had a neighbor park their SUV in their kitchen, condemning the house to be uninhabitable. So this whole process here is in order to, one, get them back into their home, but as well as to make the home something they can grow into as their children get older. As I mentioned, 3 young boys. Their current kitchen was 6 foot by 9 foot, very tight with no lower than 4.5 feet of usable counter space. The entire addition is in order to expand the kitchen so that they can return and stay in the community in which they love. So the addition, as you can see from the site plan shown on the screen, is to align with the existing conditions. Yes, we are asking for a front yard setback relief, but we are not making the nonconformity worse. We are aligning with the existing structure and aligning on the south side of the property there, the front, along with on the east side as well. So this property then also has a couple of variances requested to maintain items that were constructed prior to their purchase of the property in 2019. The biggest one that would be, I believe, on the planner's report that requested follow-up was the pool deck. We do have letters of support from the adjacent neighbor at 209 Justice Street, Christopher Laverde, in which he is in support of allowing these maintains to be, variances granted allowed to maintain these nonconformities. If I can give those over.
Sure.
In addition to the support letter of 209 Justice Street, we also have the support letter from the owner of 211 Justice Street, the one property further down.
Anything else?
I open the questions to the board.
Okay, I'll turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
How are you?
I'm doing all right tonight, sir.
Good. How old are these photos that I'm looking at?
I took them within the last couple of months, probably about maybe a month before the application.
Oh, I drove by there yesterday, and what's going on with the front of the house now?
That's where the car was parked.
So these are before?
I'm sorry, yes, those photos there are prior to the damage that was done.
Okay, makes sense.
I was the former neighbor, so I happen to have photos of the property.
All right, is there any way we can move this hot tub? Can it be moved over a foot? Everything you want to do is like so close to your neighbors.
The hot tub is underneath the existing structure, which aligns with the the setback of there. As you can see from the photo there, that roofed over area is in line and actually a couple inches shallow of the garage that is closest to the property line. We do not see that it is a necessity to move it over. They do have planting, greenery planting to shield any noise and sight from the neighbors.
You're 1 foot away from compliance. You'd be 6 foot, you're at 5 foot. Not a big thing. How about the, you're proposing a deck on the pool?
No, the deck is existing and looking to maintain.
Is there any way we can move it to the other side?
And
We're not attached to it if that's going to speed up the process.
you ready to take it down?
We'll take it.
They're willing to take the deck down.
Sorry?
They are willing to take the deck down and lose it completely.
Well, if you just move it, because it's next to, it's not the neighbor, I know we got letters from your current neighbors.
Yep.
But the next neighbors, and somebody else will complain, and then it comes back on us again.
This comes to us a lot.
Understandable, and
Looking
as I
over
just
to other
stated, the
people's
owner is
yards,
willing to
it's
remove it
just-
in order to remove this request.
And what is the height on the deck?
The height aligns just shallow
You're
of...
gonna take it down?
Take it down.
Please, we're not gonna relocate it.
Not relocate, take it down, gone.
Okay. And what about the stoop? I don't even know what stoop is. Oh, on the side of the property.
Stoop on the side was a former, or currently is a side door access stoop. The current plans that are proposed for the addition remove that door, just looking to save some costs and not remove it at this time, but there is no door access to that anymore in the proposed plans.
So we can remove the stoop?
We can remove the stoop if it's a requirement of the board to move this along.
Well, you didn't ask for relief for it, and
It's existing. We are not proposing the stoop. If you look at the existing survey,
There's
it's
not
on
going to be
there.
a door there?
There's no door. If you look at my elevations, there's no door on those. Do you have my elevations you can pull up? If not, I have a board I can bring.
Yeah, no, I'm just,
Okay.
I'm curious why we would, all right, I guess maybe just cost-wise maybe, I mean, why would you leave the stoop if you don't have a door? But
Save cost. Right now, everything is expensive and everything is jumping in price.
let's see now, we still have the same. You agree that the roof over the patio awning not be further enclosed?
Yes.
You agree that the hot tub, if ever taken down, removed, put in a forming location?
Yes.
And if the shed is ever taken down, it be put in a
Yes.
conforming location? I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board?
All right, so we can get rid of variance number 7?
So just to confirm, if they delete this variance, it has to be removed.
It will be removed, yes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to amend application 25082, diminish distance to rear lot line from 2 feet to 1.55 for accessory structure, rear pool deck.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we,
Test bores.
Yeah, we need a test board.
oh, that's right. All right.
Can the test board be a condition of approval submitted with the building permit application?
They need to comment on,
The basement's not in the application. The basement's existing, no change to it. No, there's no expansion. It's closed off area portion of the building. The expansion only has a foundation in depth to meet the existing footing for structural purposes and a 2-inch rat slab.
Can you ask if they can make an exception so we can get back on our...
Is there any way that we can approve that while still allowing the planning board, the building department to review the application for code compliance? They are only allowed to have their rental under their insurance until October, and this is time sensitive for them so that they can get back into their home. I'm not saying that we won't provide it, we will absolutely provide it, but I'm just looking to see if there's a way that we can allow the building department to do their plan review, but hold the permit until that test bore is given. I'm happy to change it down to a crawl space if necessary, if that would alleviate this issue as well. All right, crawl space it is.
Yeah.
all right. All right, we're going to close the hearing, we're going to reserve decision, you'll get the decision in the mail. We just want to talk about it and make sure everything's right, okay?
Is there a rough time frame which that decision will be mailed out? What does that
We
say?
don't have a meeting next week. We'll talk about it at the end of this meeting, but I don't guarantee that, we'll make a decision on it. But we do have meetings after next week, starting the 26th, we have meetings. So, we should be able to get it by then, all right?
Okay, in the meantime, I'll revise the application to show the demo of the pool deck as well as the crawl space to avoid the requirement of the test bore.
Okay,
All right?
So we don't have an answer until the end of this month?
all right. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Do whatever you ask them. No, I think they didn't, no, they're renting somewhere, so they need to.
Oh, okay, okay. Got it. Right.
Next application is application 25078 of Farmingdale Hospitality, property located in Farmingdale.
Good
Name and
evening.
address for the record, please.
Yes, Chris Robinson, President, R&M Engineering, doing business 50 Elm Street, Huntington, New York.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated June 4th, 2025, environmental control memo dated June 11th, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Suffolk County Planning memo dated June 12th, 2025, decision of local determination. Take no position for or against. A survey by Gregory Galaz, December 30th, 2021, and
And Mr. Chairman, there's 3 photographs.
would you like to tell us about the application?
Certainly. This is the Hampton Inn, which is currently under construction just north of the Floor and Decor on Route 110. They are in the final stages of construction. The building's looking to be open by August 12th of this summer, and we're interested in getting the freestanding pylon sign put next to the driveway. It's a right-in only driveway off of Broad Hollow Road in the southbound direction. So we'd like a identification sign to tell people where to make the right turn into the hotel. It's a compliant location, compliant height. The Hampton Inn requirements for the dimensions of the sign put it at 40 square feet, where 32 square feet is permitted. So we're seeking a variance for 8 additional square feet on the sign.
Okay. The only question we had was when it was going to open, and you answered that, so.
The date, yes.
You hope. Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. I'll make a motion to approve application 25078 for a period of 5 years.
Second.
All in favor? Good luck.
Great, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Next application is application 25080 of Costello Ace Hardware. I guess we're going to hear these together, too. 20, yeah. Oh, send that back. Name and address for the record.
Joseph Intravaya, Paraco Gas, 29 McGraw Street, Shirley, New York.
Okay, sorry.
Joe Caraciola from Costello's Ace Hardware.
Okay, and your give me an address.
Address that from the corporate office is 770-11 Deer Park Avenue.
And you both affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
So
I do.
I'm going to read everything in. We'll do both of these pretty much at the same time, all right?
Thank you.
All right, for the record, on application 25080, dated May 4th, 2025, a planning memo, environmental control memo, dated June 9th, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Fire Marshal's report, dated June 12th, 2025. They have no objections. Suffolk County Planning Memo dated June 12, 2025. Decision of local determination. Take no position for or against. A survey by Gregory Galas, undated. Tax map acting as an area map. On application 25081, we have a planning memo dated June 4, 2025. Environmental control memo dated June 9, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Fire Marshal's report dated June 12, 2025 has no objections. Suffolk County Planning Memo dated June 12, 2025. Decision of local determination. Take no position for or against. Survey of that property, which is located in Copeg. Tax map acting as an area map. And?
Chairman, for application 25080 is 7 pictures, and application 25081 is 6 pictures.
And we just need an amendment for both of them, just to specify that they are for a propane exchange cabinet.
Okay. Where are we? Fab, you want to do that, John?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to amend application 25-080 for a propane exchange cabinet.
Second.
All in favor? And on application 25081, Mr. Dellavecchia, we'll get you in the mix here.
I'll make a motion to amend application 25081 to read propane exchange cabinets.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, go, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Thank you.
No. No, tell us about the application.
I thought you
Not
you
go.
I thought maybe you'd go. That was easy.
Yeah, not that easy.
All right, so West Babylon's going to have 236 tank cages, barbecue exchange with bollards, and we're following all local codes and NFPA 58.
Copeg's gonna have 54.
It's going to have 254 tank cages, also with bollards.
Where exactly are these cages going to be located? I mean, I know the store, I frequent this store, so explain to me exactly where you're putting them.
So I'm going to say that Copeg is going to be on the west front corner of the building, right on the corner.
Yeah, from the side, from the
Yeah, it's
side.
right up
If you're
against the
looking- If you're looking at the location, it'd be on the left side, on the west side of the building.
Do you guys have the plans at all, or?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
They're not, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Copeg, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right, we were gonna ask you, Copac.
Both
Okay,
anyhow.
West Babylon will be on the front part of the building, to the right of the doorway, off the sidewalk.
Can you give me a dimension,
Of the cage?
No, from the door.
distance from the front door?
It's about 21 feet.
Okay, minimum of 10 feet
Yes.
Correct.
is the requirement.
Yes.
Yes.
You won't be blocking the sidewalk,
No.
because in your pictures, you have nothing there, but I know the store, you got,
So the sidewalk is about a little over 10 feet wide. The cage is 2.5 feet.
okay? So it won't be blocking traffic,
No.
pedestrian traffic,
Not at all.
and it'll be a minimum of 10 feet from the end.
Correct.
I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Just one. With the Copeg address, are you guys having the parking lot swept at 2 AM? I know that there was a complaint there, but nothing was ever found of it.
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, we could look into it. I mean,
Okay. Just try to be mindful of your
yeah,
neighbors.
yeah, oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I read a little something about it where they said they had no idea it was happening.
Yeah.
Wasn't that on the paperwork, I
Correct,
believe?
Yep. So just be mindful
Yeah,
of your
it's not
neighbors.
something we typically would schedule. That might have
Yeah.
been on there, the sweepers schedule that we
Yeah,
weren't aware
I
of.
mean, I have no issue with
Yeah.
it, but, thank you.
Thank you.
Subject to fire marshal. All right, would anyone like to be heard on these applications? Go ahead, John, you go first.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 25-080 with the condition for 1 year, subject to fire marshal's approval.
Second.
As amended.
And as amended, same.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve application 25-081 for a period of 1 year, subject to fire marshal approval as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, guys, good luck. Now you can go.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good night. Next application is application 25077 of Winter Brothers Waste Systems, property located in West Babylon.
Good evening, Matthew DeLuca, Law Offices of Mark Cuthbertson, 434 New York Avenue, Huntington, New York, 11743.
And, for the record, we have a planning division memo dated June 4th, 2025, environmental control memo dated June 11th, 2025. There's a number of items on here. I'm pretty sure you got a copy of this?
Yes.
Okay. Fire marshal's report dated June 12th, 2025. There's a couple of items on here that need to be taken care of. Did you get a copy of the fire marshal's report? You have it?
Yes.
Okay, all right, that needs to be taken care of. A survey by John Robinson dated June 7th, 2000, tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, there's 6 photographs and a site plan by Eugene Kempe dated January 27th, 2025.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
This is a renewal of a special exception permit for operation of a transfer station. It was originally approved in '99. The permit's been renewed upwards of half a dozen times, most recently in 2020. It was a 5-year renewal, and we're just up for we're back for another 5 years if we can do it. And we have to address the fire.
You're speculating on 5.
Yeah, we're asking for 5. Whether you'll give it to us is an open question, but we ask and we're eternally optimistic.
Okay. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
How are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Good. So the business is the same as it always been, no changes to the business?
Yes, there'll be no changes to the site, no changes to operations.
And none to the site, right?
Correct.
Okay, and we need you have violations, open violations?
Apparently so, and I'm sure we're going to address whatever fire. Exactly. Mr. Casserly from Winters is here to,
Okay.
And that's all I have.
You want to bring them up?
And if you had more questions about the fire violations and what's being done to address them, maybe he could answer that, but I mean, we'll address them, obviously.
All right, so you need to address them with the fire marshal before we can move the application, all right? Well,
Understood.
we could make it subject to that, but you got to get that taken care of.
Yes, sir.
All right? All right, would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 25-077 for a period of 5 years upon fire marshal's report and open violations being taken care of.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Optimistic paid off.
Next application is application 25076 of Babylon Best Buds, Inc., property located in West Babylon.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, Nicole Blanda. I'm an attorney at Bazell, Blanda, and Visconti with offices at 535 Broad Hollow Road in Melville.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated June 4th, 2025. Environmental control memo dated June 11th, 2025. If we were to approve this application, it needs a negative declaration. The fire marshal's report dated June 12th, 2025. Building appears vacant and secured, unable to get access, so you're going to have to get fire marshal there.
Sure. So they reviewed it for the planning job, the corresponding plan. This is one of those situations, again, where they review it and they give a lot of comments and we address them and we're good, and then they kind of forget. So if we need to arrange an inside inspection, I'll do so, but it's just unfortunate because they have a whole memo from January on this planning job saying, you know, fire sprinkler system, fire suppression system, emergency lights, and we have all that.
Fire marshal, okay, we'll make it subject.
That makes me so happy. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Where was I?
Good, I'm glad you're
That's
happy.
fire marshal. Survey by Elizabeth McQuilkin dated September 13th, 2024. Tax map, acquisition area map, and
Chairman, there's 5 photographs on the site plan by George Badger dated October 2024.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
So I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicant tenant, which is DJF Unlimited LLC, and the subtenant, which will be doing business at the site, which is Babylon Best Buds, Inc., seeking a special permit to operate a retail recreational marijuana dispensary and other associated variances. From the outset, Mr. Chairman, I just want to point out, on our application, we did have DJF Unlimited LLC listed as a co-applicant. It's not shown on the agenda, but it is important that on any, should the board approve this, that they're listed because they are the actual license holder with New York State Office of Cannabis Management. So they're, I guess, a co-applicant, you could call them, with Babylon Best Buds, but I just want to make sure that it doesn't get lost in the paperwork.
That it gets on here, okay.
What specifically do you need on that?
Just their name on the special permit, should this be approved, DJF Unlimited LLC. It's on the application paperwork as well. And then you can also have Babylon Best Buds, Inc., and if you want to put the owner on there too, Omni, that's fine, but I just want to make sure that the New York State license holder, yeah.
Okay.
Can you also add the amendment, the address was wrong on the agenda, it should be 1228, not 1280.
I'll make a motion to amend the memo from, on the address to 1228 North Wellwood Avenue.
Second.
All in favor? And I'll make a motion to amend the application to include, give that to me again,
DJF Unlimited LLC.
second.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.
Thank you. So
Housekeeping's done.
this property is located on the east side of Wellwood Avenue, approximately 900 feet north of Edison Avenue. It is across from the St. Charles Cemetery. It's zoned industry, and it has a lot area of 14,732.77 square feet, which is an existing condition for the site. It's presently improved with a vacant building that used to have a deli operating out of it. The existing building is 2,274 square feet with a partial existing basement. It sits slightly at an angle on the property, so we are working with that existing condition as well. So we're seeking to redevelop this site with a retail recreational marijuana dispensary. This location has been certified as meeting the location criteria set forth in section 166.3, meaning that it's the proper distances away from residential areas, from other cannabis locations, from religious properties, from schools, youth centers, et cetera. It's also within the proper distances of any gymnastic centers, dance centers, or other facilities that involve children. This application is under departmental review, currently with a couple of minor comments that are being addressed now. I'm sorry, is there a question? There's a Planet Nug that has the alien that blows in the wind on the, he sits on the street,
It's even further north.
but that's further north.
At the corner of Patton. The corner
Okay.
of Patton and Wellwood.
I was just, and I brought this up because I was just confused. I thought we just approved one. Okay, this is a totally different one. This has never been before us before.
This has never been before you before.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. So this app is under departmental review. There's a couple of revisions required, but they won't affect the variances that we're here for tonight. So I'd like to just walk the board through the site plan first, and then I can address each variance as I go through the site plan, and then I can kind of walk you through the business operation itself. So the lot area, as I said, that is one of the variances we are requesting. If we can turn the site plan. Actually, you know what, you could, yeah, that's great, that's perfect. So the lot area is in existing condition. We're required to have 20,000 square feet, but we have 14,732.77, so that's one of the variances that we're seeking. This site has about 101 feet of street frontage on Wellwood Avenue, so in order to accommodate both curb cuts, because we're going to have one way in, one way out, and to accommodate the proper width, we're limited in how much street landscaping we can provide. So that's another variance that we're seeking. Right now, the street frontage has no landscaping, so the good news is we are providing some. So we are providing 1,385 square feet along Wellwood, where we have, I believe, 1,800 square feet required. And this will also include a brand-new sidewalk and brand-new curbing along that area with a grass strip and then some nice street landscaping. The site will operate, again, as I said, one way in, one way out. As you come into the site, you can either park in front of the building. There's 3 spaces right in front of the building, including a handicap accessible space. And then there are spaces that run along the north side of the property. One of those spaces is considered, or actually 2 are considered front of the building line. So that's another variance that we are seeking. So we are proposing as one of our variances to have 5 spaces within the front yard rather than 4 as permitted, because we want to obviously maximize the number of parking that we can provide on site. On the side along the property line are the other parking spaces, and then on the southerly side, you can wrap around the building and get to the rear where you'll find the refuse enclosure and 7 more parking spaces, which will be in an easement area. So we require a parking variance to go from 15 spaces required. We are providing 8 on site. However, we have another 7 that will be in this easement area. Omni Babylon Realty owns the tax lot that surrounds us, basically, lot 5.1. Currently, when you look at the aerial, it does look like this section of the property. You can see it, it's striped. It's 2,750 square feet, and it was used as part of this property. So now we'll have a recorded easement pursuant to the planning board approval, should they approve it, and this will all get recorded and run with the land. So we make up for the parking, it basically is what I'm saying. To address the parking variance request, we'll actually be able to park all 15 on this site with this easement area. So we won't be short those spaces. Also, as part of this application, the site will have new drainage, new landscape features around. There's going to be a buffer strip going along the northerly side of the property. There'll be some new sidewalk and curbing. There'll be dark sky compliant lighting. And then there'll be new striping for parking and repairs to any breaks in the asphalt and curbing. The building will also have a new facade. So with respect to the business operations, As customers come into the store, they'll be greeted by a security guard. There's a vestibule of sorts so that when you come in, you're not just walking into an open space. There's another door that's locked, and there's a reception area. The security guard will be checking IDs at the door. So before you actually get let into where the product will be, you're ID'd, and there's a security guard. Once you clear through security, product will be in the glass display cases, or you can view options on kiosks, like digital screens. I'm sure the board's familiar. Sometimes the fast food places all have them now too. There's also 4 sales stations in the store, and then there's a restroom for customer use. So basically that main area is the only area that patrons will have access to, where they have the display cases and they can actually make the purchases. There will be a store manager with a key and access for the alarm on site at all times with the security guard. The operating hours that are being requested, we fully consent to. I believe we're being asked Monday through Saturday, 9 to 9, and Sunday, 10 to 8. We're perfectly fine with that. In the rear of the building, there's employee areas, there's a break room, and another restroom, and then there's a garage door that faces the rear of the property. And they're going to be using, they call them Sprinter vans. It's like there was Mercedes vans. Sometimes you see them, like the Prime delivery guys are using these vans. That's what will make deliveries of the product to the site. So what's nice about this is they can come in through the garage door and have a secured transfer of the product. So they can pull in, they can make the delivery. They don't have to be sort of out in the open. They can lock the door behind them and do what they need to do to get the product into the store itself. And then as you see on that floor plan, it talks about processing and packaging. They're going to brand it. You know, they put their labels on things, they bag things, whatnot. And then there's also a vault where they can store additional product right in that area. And then the existing basement will also be used for product storage as needed. So in terms of security, there's also 24-hour CCTV with a minimum of 90-day playback. They're going to be training their employees. They have like a 10-day training program as required by the state so that they're fully familiar with the practices and how to handle the product and what needs to be done to keep everything secure. The doors will be kept locked, as I said. And in terms of employees, they're going to have mostly part-timers, and depending on how the shifts max out, they should have about 6 people on the floor to assist and to help. And that's really the business operation. Again, we consent to the covenants. I think we were asked no outside events, which we agree to. I'll just read it for the board. Right, no special events held inside or outside the hours of operation, as I previously stated, and of course, no on-site consumption of the product. If the board has any questions, I also have here with me tonight the architect, George Badger from Spaces.
Okay, turn hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
Hi, thank you.
You have them all tonight, huh? Or most of them.
Yeah. So you agree to the 3 conditions
Yes.
on the planning memo? I
Yes.
have a few other questions. The
Sure.
number of employees at any given time, what's the max?
Probably between the manager, security guard, and then maybe 6 people on the floor. It could be between 7 and 8 employees max on a shift.
And where will they be parking?
They will be parking either in this lot, in the back, in this easement area, because there are 7 spaces back there, so that will take up part of that parking. Also, I forgot to mention that planning did ask us to do cross-access between the site. So if you look at, I don't know if you're familiar with the Omni True, I think it's True Value.
I'll stop you right there.
Yeah.
You're getting a cross-parking agreement?
Yes.
Ready for a condition of this approval with that as well?
Yes, planning's requiring it as well, yeah.
And the delivery truck will be left there overnight? Are we,
No.
Are we delivering product? That was my question.
You mean from the site?
Yeah.
Not as of yet, no. And if they did, it wouldn't be a vehicle that would be remaining or any kind of outside storage situation.
And the delivery vehicle will not be
The Sprinter van will not be kept on site.
remaining on site, okay. I don't think I have any further questions, Mr. Chairman, at this time.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application?
Sorry. There's a lot of paperwork.
Thank you.
Name and address for the record, please.
Randy Van Yerries, 2015 Wellwood Avenue, Farmingdale.
And you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
What would you like to tell us about the application?
I have a couple of questions, and I spoke to the board on the previous application for 1300, where the same dispensary was proposed. I'm understanding now, I guess it's been approved. I don't have as much issue with this location, especially if they're going to have cross parking, but I do have a question that the requirement is not in proximity to religious organizations. You have across the street is St. Charles Cemetery, which is a 501(c) Catholic cemetery that does have a religious mass and daily masses of intention. I wonder if that applies to this application. Seems that should be, it should apply to both, the one at 1300 and here. I was unaware of it at 1300, and it very kindly made me aware of it today. My second would be operational. I've had many instances. I've been with St. Charles Cemetery for 35 years. My biggest issue with the 1300 application I voiced at the time was traffic. That's a terrible intersection where our funerals are always fighting oncoming traffic going to Patton. It's much less of an issue here, except that I've battled with many of the companies that are along here. Can we put into the requirement that they keep their own snow on their own property? Because they forever push it across the street and blast my fence.
Yeah.
That's an exaggeration. It's 3 or 4 or 5 instances that has occurred.
It hasn't snowed that much lately, so.
I've been lucky. Well, yeah, true. But those are my only issues. The 1300, did they make wisely they put together a right access, did they do the same for the 1300 property?
I believe there was a agreement with the 2 lots.
On 1300, they don't have 2 lots. They only have 1, I believe.
I believe the application involved the 2 lots. So you could FOIL request, and we can give you that information and give you the approval.
Interesting. Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Will I be informed as to the nature of the religious application?
We're gonna have to look into that, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, will I be contacted then?
You can call and
You can call them, yeah.
And who would I speak to?
I'll give you my card. You can reach out to the planning department.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
So the town has interpreted the code that religious properties doesn't include the cemetery. Same like the cemetery is actually zoned residential. So they also exclude it as being within 200 feet of a residential area as well. I asked this specific question of planning. It was part of the vetting process, and we were given the green light to move forward. So that's the answer I was given.
Okay. We'll just follow
Yeah.
up on that.
And in terms of traffic, if the board had questions, as part of the planning job, again, we were asked to have a separate traffic safety engineer look at trip generation in comparison to the deli and the pizza place that had existed previously, and they found no increase in traffic. And this is a pretty small
Is there a report that you
footprint.
submitted to us or submitted?
Yes, it was submitted to planning, yes.
All right, I think we're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve.
I got one just.
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
In the interest of being a good neighbor, can we just be conscious of the snow removal?
The snow removal?
You made a point that they push it across the street and plow it right in.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, every property in the town is required to have their own snow removal.
Right, keep it on their property, right?
I deal with that in Deer Park, and I push the snow right back into their property.
All right.
Yeah, that's not a problem. It'll be well maintained.
All right, we're going to close the hearing, reserve decision. You get the decision in the mail. Thanks,
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Take
Thank
it
you.
into consideration.